Hey guys, it's MongolianMindset, and today we're gonna be helping one of our members find their personality type, man. You don't have to go into anything you're not comfortable with. Can you introduce yourself?
Right. Online, I go by the name of Cosmos Rex. You can call me Rex in short. Uh, a few years ago, I got to know about MBTI, and I think I understood more about it from joining a few Discord servers over the past few years.
Hmm.
We all started at 16p, but obviously we started learning more about the cognitive functions, and it's the same story for me. Just want to get more clarity on my type because
Hmm.
as much as I would know about this from a bird's eyes view, there are people who have gone into the details and have given much more time and effort into typing people,
Hmm.
which is what brings me here to Mongolian Mindset because I've only heard great stuff about this community, this typing community, and I can't wait to get started.
Yeah, awesome. What do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years, man?
5 years in, I should be done with my postgrad at a mid-level management position in a global MNC. I see myself there because I wish to build a successful career in international trade. So that's just one of the steps of the process. And 10 years in, I should be at a mid to senior level. I think in about 15 years, I'll have my business up and running. So pretty clear on that as my future.
Yeah, man. You seem to be very clear with that. Very clear, very crystal. Yeah. Man. If you weren't gonna do that, let's just say we alternate universe, what would you be doing?
So before discovering international trade, I was in human resources. Same reason I'm very interested in psychology. So that's what brought me there initially. I felt that it was also very much in line with my strengths. So I would have done that, but given that the scope of creating your own business here, I'm from India, so the scope of creating your own business in human resources is it's very vague. It's very I don't think there is much scope because I spent about 2 years working and I realized the importance MNCs are giving to this support function. And that means that people will not be outsourcing most of their work to third-party human resource professionals. So once I understood that that was not an option for me to pursue because I always wanted to start something on my own, I picked up this other venture of international trade, which has also been interesting me all over these years. That's probably what I would have done in an alternate universe if I had no choice and I had to continue in an MNC. I would have. I would have likely been in a senior management position there.
Thomas, anything?
Yeah. I don't know. If you could have any superpower, what would you want to have?
Superpower.
Yeah.
Um, you know, being able to control time would be pretty cool. I think that would be a pretty
You
cool
all
power
think
to
that?
have.
It's kind of crazy.
I mean, if you think about it, it's pretty. I mean, that's the only true resource which we use, right? And
Hmm.
being able to manipulate time, if that's one thing which is fixed, it's fixed. If it weren't fixed, if it were something you could alter or manipulate without any repercussions, then there's so much more that you could do uh, with your life. So yeah, manipulating time without having any sort of drawback or affecting our current reality would be pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. I always like joke around, like sometimes when I'm like heading to work or something, it's like I wish I could pay God money for like an extra hour of sleep. It's like
Hmm.
Yeah,
like
that would definitely
take
be
it
on
out of
my
the bank
to-do
account,
list.
God.
Yeah, yeah. Definitely.
What are your best strength? What are your best strengths?
Um, Best strengths. Well, I wouldn't say best. I have a few. So people call me charismatic whenever I. That's something that people do say.
Mm-hmm.
I can't be too sure of that, but in terms of my other strengths, confident. I'm pretty confident and that I'm pretty sure of too. So confidence is one of them. I'm organized, structured, I'm efficient, I'm very ambitious. I have big goals, so I view that as a strength. I'm optimistic. That's a strength. Yeah, those are a few of my strengths that come off the bat.
Yeah. What do you think like separates you from another person if you had like a competition? What would you think like I'm gonna do this and they're not gonna do this?
Well, honestly, at least in my personal experience, I haven't. It really depends on the person, but then I'm someone who, like I said, is very structured and plan oriented. And when I do have something set out to do and I have a clear path to reach there, I'm pretty confident that I can persevere over somebody else. So, over the average man, that's something which I've definitely have an up over, you know.
Okay. Um,
You
what's
said you were optimistic. You said you were optimistic. Where does that come from? Your optimism.
Just give me a second.
Oh.
Damn, I can't hear shit.
Sorry, guys, not home alone. Anyway, yeah, you were saying, where does my optimism come from?
Exactly.
Well, generally, it's like we've witnessed people who have achieved great things in life, and I think that, of course, luck has a factor to play, right? That's something which you cannot control, but the things that they did control and they did achieve with a concrete plan and a solid work ethic, if they could do it, then why couldn't we do the same thing? And oftentimes when I went ahead with that mindset and actually saw something work out the way we intended it to, it gave me the confidence to believe more, you know. So I can be very grateful to say that I have had a fairly comfortable life growing up, and maybe because of the fact that, you know, I've gone about achieving things and it's worked out well for me in the past, and I can pursue my goals without any hindrances. That makes me confident. That makes me optimistic.
Gotcha.
Yeah. What do you think is something that slows you down?
Oh yeah, this one I've actually thought about a lot. So I think, you know, just generally being chaos. If something is not like in a very if it's not planned out to the T, I have trouble pursuing it. You know, sometimes there are uncontrollable factors which you cannot you know, handle. If you're working in an MNC and say you have someone's orders that you have to follow in a particular route, you do not have a choice in how you can pursue something, even if you know there's a better way to go about it. And you know, just things which are uncontrollable, things which not let you go as per what you wanted to go as, that slows me down big time because it's chaos for me. I cannot, if it's not just, if there's no structure, if there are too many uncontrollable factors, I find it very difficult to move ahead. I procrastinate a lot in that.
Okay. Um, what's something like a area of weakness for yourself?
Um, Weakness. I'm not very I'm not very detail oriented. Small things sometimes get by me. I've had issues over there. My memory sucks. It's really bad. I have a lot of trouble memorizing things. Rote learning, it's beyond me. Um, I I can sometimes come off as a little cold or intense. I don't know. I've gotten that feedback before that, you know, sometimes I just shut off emotionally, and that makes me, you know, extremely brutal when it comes to, you know, so some sort of argument or something of the sort. So it's not exactly a weakness. It can be a strength, but at the same time, in certain contexts, it is. I've come to admit that, and actively working on all of these things. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. What are 3 words that you would use to describe yourself?
Oh, I guess I sort of did cover this when I did describe my strengths and weaknesses, didn't I?
Somewhat.
So,
But I want to
so
see what words you use. 3. I want to see your
three
go.
words. 3 words: ambitious, organized, and determined.
Okay. What is like if this was taken away from you, life would be meaningless. What would that be for you?
You know, there's this kind of lifestyle where you just get a normal job. You're 35. You're married. You have 2 kids. You live a very ordinary life. You get out. You get into this very ordinary car,
Mm-hmm.
head into your cubicle, and then
Mm-hmm.
you come back home after 5 p.m. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That would really suck. I think that's one thing I've been dreading for the longest time coming. It's a huge motivator for me because I don't want to be there.
Mm-hmm.
I want to create something of my own. I want to experience finer things in life. And like I said earlier, time is limited, so we got to do it as quickly as possible.
Okay. So why have you had this feeling to create something of your own?
I think he's distracted at the moment.
Oh shit.
I'm so sorry, guys.
Oh, you good,
Yeah,
bro.
you were saying
Well, where does this need to create something of your own come from? What do you think?
perhaps sense of freedom to make my own decisions, to be in control of my life. I don't like to give that away. I think when I was younger, I never really got to make my own calls, and that really frustrated me. And then that sense of being in control of what I do and being responsible for what I do, that's what really drove me to eventually consider something of my own, to create something of my own,
Mm-hmm.
and also something to be remembered by when all things are said and done. I don't want to one day just pass away and be nothing. Because ultimately that's the great equalizer, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I want something to stay on that can be carried ahead by people close to me. So yeah, that's what really motivated me to create hopefully create something of my own.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
why.
I think that's important. To me, I think, that's how you measured your life. Like if you, unfortunately, like, did you
So
really
true.
matter? Did you like benefit the world in the time that you were here? Did you leave anything? So that's a big motivational factor for myself as well. Um, mm, um, Thomas, anything?
Shit. Well, yeah, you're talking about so what exactly would you like to be remembered for? Since we're kind of on that subject.
It's very similar to what Mercer said. I
Yeah.
want to be remembered for creating something special, for making
Mm-hmm.
the world better than what it was when I entered it.
Mm-hmm.
So eventually giving back. I do want to be remembered for giving back, but I have to be something before I get that, right? Get to that level. So yeah, I want to be remembered for having benefited the world with my strengths, and hopefully create something which would yeah, just better the world. I don't really have any other way of. I've been repeating the same thing again and again.
Yeah, yeah.
Just in general, that's just something that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
People should
Gotcha.
think that looking back that, okay, look, this guy made something extremely large from absolutely nothing, so that's that growth, it's supposed to inspire people. And when I read books and I read success stories, and that's what gets me kicking, right? And one day I want to be that on the other end of that. I want to be the one who writes the books, or who
Mm-hmm.
just who's able to inspire the next gen. I want to be at that level at some point in my
Yeah.
life.
Gotcha.
Okay. How do you go about learning something new, man?
Generally, I like to wait, are we talking skills or are we talking theory or what
Anything.
exactly?
What's your
Anything.
approach?
I see how the ones who have achieved this already have gone about it. I think it's a very clear and concrete example in front of you. So why not make the most of it? And then, yeah, I try to find out how they went about it. If it does somehow correlate with what I'm supposed to do in my situation, I apply it. And generally, yeah, that's had a higher success rate. So that's how I go about learning new things. I like to learn from people who are knowledgeable, who are verified to be knowledgeable, right? So just generally trustable sources, which can, be concrete in what they're saying or doing.
Okay. John, who you thinking? Want to finish it or you want to keep going?
Not. I think we're pretty,
Yeah.
we're sure about it. So I don't think we need to keep going.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah, we already knew like maybe like 3 minutes
A
in.
minute in.
Yeah.
Okay.
What I noticed about you, when we asked you about like the future, I mean, like what you can do in the future, it was a step-by-step process, for figuring out like where you were going to go. It was pretty step-by-step broken down. So I hit you for progression there, and obviously, bro, you're talking 10, 15 years in the future. The vision was crystal clear. So, progression. You talked about like senior management positions and that type of thing. Like that was your focus is behind achievements. TEFI, getting those achievements makes a TE user feel good about themselves. So actively they will be pursuing TE, achievements and things of that nature. You're structured and planned, right? TEFI some more. Um, you will witness people achieve great things, and if they can do it, you can do it. So you SENI seen somebody do something, right? You seen somebody in the environment achieve something, so then you can do the same thing. It's very good for SENI users. You struggle because you need certainty with a lot of things. That's usually NI, right? NI likes to like have certainty. You always talked about needing structure, so you need systems in place, structures in place, not very detail oriented or in your memory sucks. So I hit you for SI weak, right? 3 words you use: ambitious, NI, organized, TE, determined, NI. You want to decrease some of your own SE like NI, TE, FI, whatever. Freedom to make your own decisions, pragmatic. I want to be like what the right goddamn. I wanted whatever the fuck I said. I don't know. Oh, about doing something. Your process is to see what someone else has done and then try to implement it or not. So it's SENITEFI. You go for trustable sources, TEFI. So man, we got you as INTJ. I think a lot of people would mistype you as ENTJ. I do think you're most likely Enneagram 3. So that would make it very hazy. And I do think like if you're in socionics, they probably type you LIE, um, but you are an INTJ. Um, what you type
Interesting.
yourself
Very
as?
interesting.
Huh?
No, I mean, you're right, because many people have typed me as an ENTJ. I've also been
Mhm.
typed INTJ. I
Mm-hmm.
got a few ESTPs, ISTPs, ISFPs. It's been all over the place, really. So yeah,
Yeah.
this is pretty good. Thanks, Mercer.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty easy to see that you were direct. All right. That was pretty easy to see that you need that system structure. That's your goal here. You're looking at it, you want the achievements. And you know where you're headed in life, right? And I knows where it's going. Usually if what Dario says, if your life isn't going the way you want it to, generally speaking, you got low NI. Okay, because
Mm,
NI always sees the vision for themselves. But you are, like I said, a go-getter. So they could very much confuse that for being ENTJ, but I think it's the clear progression in you. Like you see the step by step, right? You're not just focused on the end product. It's like, okay, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to get to where I need to go. Like you're all about
Absolutely.
how to get to the goal, which is progression.
Absolutely.
So,
Okay, interesting.
yeah.
I was always a little confused myself because I was like, okay, INTJ does sound plausible, but
Hmm.
can that fit with a type 3? Because generally, like you mentioned earlier,
Hmm.
ENTJs and type 3 do correlate
Yeah.
quite well,
Yeah.
but it's very rare to hear an INTJ being a type 3. You generally see them with, type 5, type 6.
Yeah. I think
So,
the thing is like personally, I think no one I think people aren't been able to credibly type people, right? Or like arrive to the same conclusion. And they tried to theoretically put Enneagram together. Like you should be this, you shouldn't be this, but that's just not how things work out. So my approach is like, okay, we'll have a lot of people come on and then we'll have them talk and we'll see what they like. Hey, I think my Enneagram is this, or I think, or it just comes out a little bit. And see where all the chips land, right? Instead of saying, if you're in a group, like, I mean, there's obvious shit. Like somebody said in the comments, they're an INTP 8, right? SE trickster and like 8 don't go together, right? I'm
hmm,
sorry, like those two don't go together, right? You're not gonna be, an 8 and have SE trickster. So you can eliminate like certain personality types from certain immigrants. But I do think you have to have like a little caution with other ones because a lot of the kind of blend, especially like if an INTJ gets a good household or something, a good home where they're able to like become very structured and good or like that type of thing, then a lot of times I think they will become threes. Um, it is what it is. I think a lot of those sports athletes or whatnot that are INTJs end up being threes. So
very true. Yeah.
um,
Yeah, there are exceptions, there's no doubt. So,
yeah.
totally agree that.
Yeah, but I do think if you were in like socionics, they probably type your ass LIE. You know, they type everybody LIE.
Yeah, except the actual ENTJs.
Yeah, right.
They'll type them SLE or S what is it, SEE, the actual ones,
SLE or like the ESTJ.
SEE. Or
Is that the ESTJ on there? Whatever the fuck the
oh,
ESTJ
well,
is.
ESTJ is I think that's SL.
I or E or SLE? LSE, right?
That's LSE. Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's LSE, and then LSE,
Which
and SL
I don't know
ESTJ.
how the fuck that correlates together. I really don't because when we say someone's an ENTJ, they have SI trickster. There ain't no way that bitch is in fucking the second spot, in the parent spot. That don't even go together. Um, so it's just weird, man. I do feel like we have the best system that follows type, and like you can kind of check it out in reality for yourself. Like you go out in the world and get used to these metrics, and you're like, damn, like this shit does actually fucking work. As opposed to them, it's kind of like doesn't always work.
I mean, yeah, that's exactly what really got me in this trying to. I find human beings to be fascinating puzzles.
Hmm.
They have so much going in them, and for people to try and put this into a fixed system
Hmm.
and try to predict a trend with a system, and
Hmm.
it actually turns out to be true.
Yeah,
That was like
so
seeing that
fun.
happen so many times. It's just so much fun.
It's so
It's
much
just
fun.
so
It's
much
like
fun.
it's like a puzzle, man. When you're
It's
meeting
like a
somebody,
puzzle.
it's like
Exactly. And they're
and
giving you like the
you're like, oh, I
tools.
got him.
So yeah, it's
Got this
amazing.
motherfucker. He's a X, Y, and Z personality type, or she's an X, Y, and Z. Got this bitch.
So
So that's
true, man.
exciting.
So true.
You got any questions for us, man?
No, I think I'm pretty clear. I just wanted to get clarity from other people as well. This is my first video typing, so
Oh, okay.
I
I was
quite
wondering
interested.
how do you deal with your performance anxiety? Because INTJs kind of have performance anxiety a lot of times.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
or being in the moment is kind of scary for them, or like it's that moment where it's like, God damn it. Like, so a lot of them are like playing very delicately, so that even if they're in the moment, they know what to do. Like for instance, like Kobe Bryant, right? People didn't even pick up that he had low SE, but because he practiced every scenario that could possibly happen, so that when that scenario did happen, he was ready for it, right? He took improvising out of the game for himself. So how did
That's
you
so
go
true.
about that?
Generally, it's for me. I mean, it's all about breaking it down,
Mhm.
from my large long-term goals. So it has to go within the week, within the day, within the hour. I have to have a set objective to sort of,
Mhm.
achieve. Otherwise, it's like it's too vague. Everything is too vague. I cannot like focus on the agenda in hand.
Mhm.
So yeah, and if I don't achieve that at that given point of time, I do kill myself over it. There's no doubt about it. I do kill
Mhm.
myself over it. But then you have to come up with a contingency plan and just, find a
Contingency
way
plan.
to.
That's the INTJ thing. Come up with a contingency plan.
Yeah, I mean, you
Right there.
have to
That's
have
the
a plan
progression
B.
thing. Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, that's definitely something I always keep in mind,
Hmm.
because you never know. You never know how things could eventually pan out. There's so many
Hmm.
uncertainties. So
Just change the trajectory right there.
change it
Still get the
exactly.
goal
Like
though. Still get the goal though. But you just,
absolutely.
yeah.
It's like the same way I was talking about that certain sense of structure in
Hmm.
when you're talking about, say, that plan for the business, right?
Hmm.
Have a certain amount of work X, then after that go ahead and create
Hmm.
your own thing with a proper network and proper knowledge on the subject. It was HR earlier. uh,
Hmm.
then I immediately realized, okay, this is not gonna click because this is the circumstance. So I have to change up something.
Hmm.
International trade was plan B, and it's a good plan B. I really like it. So
That's a good plan, B. It's hilarious. Well, man, it's been a pleasure, man.
likewise, likewise.
Anything you want to say before we go?
No, I mean, I just wanted to say thank you to Mongolian Mindset. I've really appreciated the videos and can't be featured for this particular session. And hopefully we can stay in touch. I'm in your Discord
Definitely.
server.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
yeah, shout out to Mercer and Thomas here. They've done an amazing job. So GG's guys.
All right, man.
Take
Take it
care.
easy, brother.
Thanks.
You
Have
as
a good
well.
one.
All right. Bye.